Principles of sports nutrition.
Steroids have been used in sport for close to 80 years now. In 1935, a German pharmacologist isolated crystals from bull testicles. Chemistry of the crystals was determined by Dutch chemists and named testosterone. Later that same year, Swiss chemists succeeded in synthesizing testosterone from cholesterol. Eventually, researchers discovered the muscle-building effects of these new drugs, and soon they became available for use by physicians in the treatment of emaciation, surgery, and injury, especially in the elderly. Steroid hormones occur naturally in the body and are essential to health and function. In synthetic form, they are drugs and therefore not essential unless they are deemed necessary for medical reasons. All drugs have side effects. Anabolic steroids provide the user with a copy of testosterone in amounts typically much greater than what the body could ever produce naturally. Combine them with weight training and a higher intake of protein, and you can build muscle mass, increase your strength, and experience a reduction in body fat, all at an accelerated rate. Exactly what many athletes and especially weightlifters want. But at what cost? Steroids are biosynthesized internally inside the body from cholesterol and categorized as one of 4 types of hormones. 1. Peptides, 2. Steroids, 3. Biogenic amines, and 4. Eicosanoids. So there's 4 types of hormones in the body. One of the types, one of the categories, is steroids, and they're derived from cholesterol. Of course, in conventional medicine, steroids are commonly utilized in surgery as treatment for testicular cancer, for male andropause, which is becoming more and more popular. Instead of weight training and looking after yourself, patients just go to their doctors and get a testosterone patch. Also, they can be used as an effective treatment or method of birth control. When I was in India, I was reminded of this fact. So you can inject 200 milligrams of testosterone enanthate or cypionate or propionate and achieve the same effectiveness for birth control that women can using their pill, but with far less side effects. Anabolic steroids are a specific group of steroids that have an anabolic effect. They exert growth, they improve the construction, they build up. There are other kinds of steroids that have the opposite effect. One of them that's produced in the body is cortisol, and of course taking anabolic steroids has a counteractive impact against the destructive effects, the cell reducing, the muscle damaging effects of cortisol. So anabolic steroids increase nitrogen retention, protein synthesis, blood volume by as much as 10 to 20%, glycogen deposition, and they decrease cortisol activity. So you can see the attraction. However, they have a multitude of side effects affecting brain chemistry, the neurons in the brain themselves, vascular health, cardiac function, skeletal health. The impact of steroids has to do with the quantity used, the frequency used. Today, some of the bodybuilders are absolutely out of control, mixing them with various amounts of other substances, including growth hormone or thyroid hormones or glenbuterol, etc. It's a freak show. And hence, that is why you get a freak show when you go to a pharmaceutical bodybuilding event. However, let's keep in mind that there are many, many athletes across the globe that use steroids for reasons other than increasing the size and strength of muscle. Steroids increase your tolerance to stress. This is why ping pong players test positive. This is why race car drivers test positive. This is why cyclists test positive. A lot of these athletes that you see in the Olympic sports, elite athletes, even officers of the law or firefighters use steroids because they improve your tolerance to stress. This is very attractive to an individual in wartime Wouldn't you want to take amphetamines and steroids if you were going into war with the strong likelihood that you were not going to come back and that you'd be killed by your enemy? Of course. But in the world of sports, it is an issue of morality, because every Olympic athlete has to take an oath and swear that they will abide by the rules and not use the banned substances. So go ahead, do whatever you want to your own body. It's your life. You're a free agent and you're sovereign. However, when you agree to participate in an event that specifically states that the substances that you're tempted to use are forbidden, this is reduced to a moral issue, an issue of character, and an issue of society. A society that on one hand condemns the use of steroids and the deception associated with their use, but on the other demands the biggest, the strongest, the fastest. They want to see that as a form of entertainment, and so generally speaking, society is willing to turn its head, to shut its eyes, to turn away from the truth about what's going on in the dark side of the athletic world. And unfortunately, this issue is much bigger than the athletes themselves in the gyms across America, across the world, taking the steroids. It has to do with social values and social hypocrisy in general.